Hello folks, my name is Shaw with Royal Tiger Imports, and today I'm here to show you all a small selection of some 7.35 M.38 Cavalry carbines. These particular Cavalry carbines came out of Ethiopia, out of our most recent shipment, and we have not had these for quite some time, but we're finally glad to have these back in stock, and we thought we'd make a quick video to show you the current condition of what we offer. In front of me, I have a variety of condition, ranging from some of the better ones we've seen out of this batch. Generally speaking, on the higher end, you will have some finish wear, etc. These are pretty hard used guns. At the end of the day, they are approaching 100 years old pretty quickly. And then on the lower end, we have some what we would consider C grades. So, of course, these have some small cracks in the stock, heavy finish wear, a little bit of surface rust that can get cleaned off, and generally speaking, just a generally poorer condition. In each one of the listings, we do have a pretty thorough description of what may or may not be included. Generally speaking, they are mostly complete, but they may be missing some small parts like a handguard or something like that. Again, all the fine details of that are in the descriptions on the listings online. So without further ado, let's get into it, and I'll show you exactly what you can expect with the range of conditions. All right, folks, let's get a closer look at these M.38 7.35 carbines. Let's start with the top one here. You can see that the overall wood condition is pretty good, but it does have some small Ethiopian modifications. In fact, we can go back there. You can see that they do occasionally put in small brass tacks, or even, funny enough, a primer cup. You can see that that is an old primer cup that they threw in there. And then let's move on to the receiver. This, as you can see, does have some finish wear, but overall, this particular one is pretty much complete. It's worth noting that you can immediately see this is a 7.35 M.38 because of its fixed rear sight. So let's take a quick look at the top of the sight. Unfortunately, this one's marking is a bit worn, but usually right about there it would say 7.35. And in fact, let's skip over to this next one here. Right there, it's shrouded by a little bit of dirt and just overall patina, but you can see it says Cal 7.35, indicating, of course, that that is in the updated larger bore cartridge that the Italians attempted to switch over previous to and during World War II. Moving on to our next one here, you can see that this one is in pretty good overall condition as well. Not too bad considering its age. And in fact, here is another telltale, is that, and it's very hard to see on this one, it is a little bit faint, but it says right here, Cal 7.35. And let's take a look at the top of this one. This one was manufactured by Gardone VT. And while we're here, let's take a look at the bayonets. You can see that pretty much most of these are going to be the push button later style of bayonet on here. Of course, it's a folding bayonet that extends out straight off of the front into that small square cut, basically 180 degrees. Then let's look at the next one here. This one is leaning more towards what we consider a B grade because we have some piece missing from the upper handguard here. And again, let's get a look at some of the markings as well. This one is a Brescia, made in 38, so that is pretty early when it comes to these guns. Little bit more finish wear on this particular one. And when it comes to the B grades, they may have more cracks, dings, dents, gouges, etc. in the wood. But generally speaking, the stock is going to be there and pretty much complete. Maybe missing a very small component such as a screw in the front barrel band or other very small components. But generally speaking, you're getting a mostly complete gun, which is a great project for refurbishing, or if you want to use it as a wall hanger even for a display. And let's move on to the two bottom ones here. You can see this is much closer to what we would consider a C grade. So immediately you can see that it is missing the upper handguard. As well as a small stock separation here. So this appears to be a factory repair at some point, because that's a perfectly straight line with a hard 90-degree cut at the end, indicating that that was spliced in. However, this one is coming loose. You will also see sometimes, and let's take a look at the wrist, this particular one does have a small crack, but sometimes the cracks may be larger than this on a C grade. Sometimes you may have chunks missing, such as it is somewhat common to see this section of wood here having been chipped off. And they may have more rust, need more cleaning. But again, it's a great project for the price point. These we are selling at a pretty heavy discount currently. And let's take a look at the bottom one here. You can see that there is more extensive wear on the front end of the stock. It's worth noting the bayonet channel may have some slight chips out from it. This one just has, generally speaking, a more heavy wear. And let's take a look at the rear end of the stock. You can see that it does have some spots where it appears to have dried out over decades, and it has very small little splits happening in the wood. However, this type of damage, for lack of a better term, could be remediated. This could be effectively refinished, and this can be worked with. And let's take a look as well at the back of the wrist on this particular one. If we can get the bolt out of the way there, you can see another small split at the wrist. So as you can see, the condition varies. We do have some quite nice ones that we will be individually listing as well. But we have a decent quantity of the B and C grade, although not that many. So if you are interested in getting one of these, definitely recommend that you pick one up sooner than later, as they go pretty fast. The previous shipment that we got out of Ethiopia, they sold out extremely quickly, and we were getting calls and emails asking if we had any more. That day has finally come. So if you're interested in getting one of these, highly recommend it. Let's also take one last look at some of the clips that we offer. To the left, this is an original brass Italian clip. Let's take a look at the markings. This one was made, if we can get that into focus, this is an SMI marked clip with a 976 code. And then this one is steel. It is a new reproduction with very similar markings, except with a star 39. These work with both the 6.5 and 7.35 cartridge. And finally, let's take a look at the sling. We've had these for quite some time now, and they are pretty high quality reproductions. These are genuine leather with real brass fittings. These are not a brass coated fitting, but are proper, along with the small retaining stud. Overall, a great sling for pretty much any of the Carcanos. Thank you very much for watching. God bless.